Have you ever felt like you're just experiencing the world differently? This isn't about being too smart or anything like that. It's about having this unique perspective, this kind of high definition awareness that honestly can feel pretty isolating sometimes. Okay, let's get into it. It's a weird feeling, right? You can be surrounded by people, you can be in the middle of all the fun, and yet there's still a part of you that feels a little detached, like you're watching the whole scene from behind a pane of glass. But what if we reframed that feeling? I mean, what if being an outsider isn't a bug, but a feature? What if it's actually a sign that you're perceiving life with more depth, with more layers, with way more clarity than most people? So let's start by putting a name to that core feeling. It's this quiet, constant question that's always running in the background of your mind, and it makes you feel like you're both a part of the world and just an observer of it. This right here, this captures that duality perfectly. On one hand, you're absolutely living in the moment, but there's another part of your brain that's kind of narrating everything, analyzing it, and questioning that very moment as it happens. So you're smiling, you're playing along, but deep down, you're also dissecting the entire scene. And this isn't just some quirky habit. It actually has a name: metacognition fatigue. It is a real, genuine exhaustion that comes from the mental work of constantly watching yourself think. It's exactly why socializing can feel so draining. You're not just there, you're also producing a live commentary track in your own head the entire time. So, how does this all translate to what's actually happening inside your brain? Well, that brings us right to our next section: the restless, and I mean relentlessly, analytical mind. Does this feel at all familiar? You'll have a great idea, and then almost immediately, another part of your brain swoops in and starts trying to tear it apart. This isn't just self-doubt. We're talking about a full-blown internal debate club where every single idea gets put on trial. And yep, there's a term for this too. It's called dialectical reasoning. It's this really structured way of thinking where your brain will intentionally build up an argument just for the sake of trying to knock it down. It's all in the pursuit of a stronger, better truth. It's amazing for progress, but man, it can make you feel uncertain all the time. Okay, here's another key sign. When somebody shares a fun fact, your first impulse isn't just to nod along, it's to immediately go research it. It's like this automatic reflex you can't control. And it's not arrogance, it's more like you have an allergy to lazy thinking. And that powerful drive has a name: epistemic curiosity. See, it's the difference between just wanting to collect random facts and wanting to understand the truth. You don't just want to know what, you have this deep, compelling need to understand why and how. So what happens when a mind like this runs out of puzzles? It gets bored, really fast. You might dive into a brand new hobby with all this incredible passion, only to completely drop it a few weeks later. And it's not because you're flaky, it's because your brain has already cracked the code and it's hungry for the next challenge. And this leads us to something called the novelty paradox. Basically, your mind's amazing efficiency at learning and solving problems, well, it becomes its own trap. Routine starts to feel like a cage, and you find yourself constantly chasing that rush of a new, complex problem to solve. Okay, so we've looked at the internal world. Now, what happens when this type of mind tries to connect with other people? This is where the social communication gap really shows up. This visualizes the problem just perfectly. Your mind makes these big, intuitive leaps. It connects A to D directly. But for most people, they need to see the steps in between, B and C, to follow along. So when you skip them, it's not that they can't understand you, it's that it feels like you've teleported in the middle of the conversation. And the consequence of this, well, it can be pretty profound. This quote from Camus isn't an exaggeration. That communication gap can create a very real sense of loneliness. You really want to connect, but sometimes it just feels like you're speaking a slightly different language. Oh, this is a big one. The weather, weekend plans, office gossip, it can feel physically grating, right? Like sandpaper on your soul. And it's not because you're antisocial. It's because your mind is absolutely starved for depth. You're just hungry for a meaningful exchange, and shallow chatter doesn't cut it. But here's a really powerful way to reframe that. Instead of seeing small talk as a chore, what if you saw it as a tool? Think of it like a human handshake before you can dive into the real conversation. It's that necessary first step to see if the person you're talking to is also looking for that deeper connection. Now, this heightened awareness doesn't just mess with social interactions. It has deeper, more existential consequences. This is what we're calling the weight of awareness. Think about it. Most people just experience happy moments. But for a highly analytical mind, there's this compulsion to put that happiness under a microscope, to ask, wait, why am I happy? Or what does this mean? And somewhere in the middle of dissecting it, the feeling just vanishes. And this little flowchart shows the process perfectly. You start with a simple, pure moment of joy. Then the analysis kicks in. Then comes the big existential questioning. And just like that, the moment's gone. It's the tragic little paradox of a super aware mind trying to hold on to a feeling. Now, this might seem like it's coming out of left field, but it's so deeply connected. A dark sense of humor isn't a sign of broken empathy. It's actually the opposite. It's a sign that your mind can hold two conflicting ideas at once, like tragedy and comedy, and see the profound absurdity where they overlap. You're not mocking pain. You're acknowledging its power by finding the wit inside the darkness. So, after exploring all these challenges, yeah, it can feel a little bleak. But the solution is not to change how you think. It's about changing who you think with. Let's talk about finding your mental tribe. And this, right here, is the crucial point. Stop trying to force yourself into conversations and groups where you feel like you have to shrink your mind down to fit in. The real goal is to find those rare people who don't just tolerate your deep questions and your strange connections. They celebrate them. They get excited by them. In the end, seeing the world differently isn't a curse. It's a unique lens. The challenge, and the joy really, is in learning how to use it. So, as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Which of these signs resonated most with you?